Elgato is in jail while I always leave her. Oh! I know what happened. I know what happened. I know what happened. So, funny thing, in order for something to work, it needs to be plugged in. You know? I had to unplug my capture card because we were playing PC games and we needed to plug in an extra USB. That can't be right. Yeah. What is this problem solving? I'm gonna refresh again. Ding, ding, ding. All right, we did it. We did it. Yeah, Symphony of War. We were gonna switch around 7 anyways, but I've got some gripes with good old SOW. Anyways, we're gonna move on to Ace Attorney. It's time to start Chapter 3. Last week, what happened in this game? We learned that Natsume was not guilty. It was, in fact, Olive Green that poisoned the pipe that Sham Spear blows on, and that's why he was poisoned. And Sham Spear was the one attempting to kill Natsume, not the other way around. Okay. Let us continue. The Return of the Great Departed Soul is the name of this chapter. Is it talking about Kazuma?
End of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park.
She'll never get out.
Welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
So, this is the event that was advertised on the poster inside the carriage from the 3rd chapter in the 1st game, right? I think?
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today,
well, actually,
showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high-voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex...
Oh great, this is just like the phone wave, name subject to change. Oh dear.
But a few moments from now,
No way this ends well.
this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
This one, yes. Woo!
Hey Dots.
Yes. Please, that's not what I wanted.
Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. It's gonna take that time machine 10 months to recharge now. What were we talking about again? Today's paper. It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh! Oh my. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh! You're even more down! Hi, Yummy Ellie. Ah! What? When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here. You know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning, with all its unruly spikes. Clearly it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Ha 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 ha! Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. So, wait a minute. This is continuing Ryunosuke's plot after the first game officially now, right? Because we had Susato in Chapter 1, not much Ryunosuke. Chapter 2 is a flashback. Chapter 3, we are finally, like, caught up with the chronology of what the main character is doing in the game's plot. That's kind of cool. Oh, well. That would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping. Okay. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know. And the Great Exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go to see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from, is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. I actually have not played Bravely Default, Dots. I own Bravely Default for 3DS, I have not played it. I'm told that I would like it. Why do you ask? Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. Oh, really? Another Bravely Default game? Interesting. Bravely Second is for, wait. Bravely Second's the actual story continuation of Bravely Default, and there's also a Bravely Default 2, which is for Switch, right? Yeah. All those games are on my radar for real. I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part in a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. I would decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told that I had to spend time in research and studies, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes's old cases. Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart, the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? We kind of liked Strongheart, didn't we? Blurry line. Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one that can grant permission for me to start working in courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching! Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down? Do you mean those things? Why? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on an open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. Maybe 11 by now.
Throw them all out.
See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to be impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Interesting. Already giving us court record when we can't perform in court. Shadows cast behind, is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Not the unemployment record. Nothing more to add, that's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually. The more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. You put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making the deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? Oh shit, the Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Okay, the Reaper attacked. Nani? It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. I would never attack Van Zeeks. I like him. Yes, Prosecutor Baron Van Zeeks. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks was attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, As to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No. I can't wait till tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? If it turns into the morning edition, I will be sad. No, there's no way Van Zeeks could be... No. I'm sure he's fine. Although, it would be really interesting to have a different prosecutor. We've had that one guy in Chapter 1 of both games, right? But it would be interesting if another character pops up. And then Van Zeeks comes to our side, and we fight justice together. Oh. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. Thought it hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Ha ha ha! Well then, see you later, indeed. Yeah, we could just make Van Zeeks our new boyfriend. But, okay, this chapter is called The Return of, like, a Long-Lost Soul. So I'm really wondering if this has anything to do with Kazuma. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Alright then, Runa, let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're gonna take me there then. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course! And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. Alright, enter Strongheart again. 22nd October, British Supreme Court. Damn, when is the last time we saw this character? I feel like it's been a long-ass time. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. Thank you for that explanation, game. But some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you'd been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. There he is. When Susato-san was given news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. There he is. Oh, Lord Strongheart, I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Armstrong. Stronghearts. Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for the moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including your own land.
No.
Yeah, his mutton chops are definitely a choice. I agree, Steven. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're hosting the hosting nation, I have much to do, and is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Well, thank you for agreeing to meet me, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Runo, just take a deep breath and come out with it. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system, and I desperately want to have another go. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Ugh, here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend here on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill my calling for him. His calling, you say. Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Oh shit, wait, this is big lore. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you! Thank you so much!
Yay!
That's wonderful news, Runo! In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the finger? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care. Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and the man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Asman. An inventor and a well-known figure in society. Large explosion. A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him in the prison. There's very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition. A scientific experiment gone wrong and murder. I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still. We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Definitely. Ah yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks? How? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition, and next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So, it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly. It's extremely alarming. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures, and I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you here earlier, I shall detail every one now. What? Oh, how fascinating! It all began 15 years ago. I was... The way I thought my actual vision was blurring. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in her book. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. The Reaper attacked. It's the kingpins of the criminal underworld generally managing to escape conviction in the Reaper's trials. And this isn't the first time their henchmen have tried to attack Lord Van Zieks as a result by the sound of it. It makes you think, if that's how the justice system works in London, then there must be dark forces at work. I hope the lost cat gets found too. I wonder if it's Natsume's.
Meow.
Okay, so we're not supposed to get more information from him? Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story is on the back page. What's this? What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible! They were armed with guns! Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? He would take the bribe and then forget what he's doing, yes? The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. He was a man by the name of Asmin, Mr. O.D. Asmin. So the guy that died. Did you just say Asmin? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. Fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. Secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? So, I mean, this story kind of writes itself, right? Guy in charge uses Van Zieks intentionally. There's this rumor. He has a lot of power. He could arrange for hitmen. Strongheart is probably a bad guy. In some way. Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. I'm gonna use this quick moment to go and prepare another drink. So I will be back in just a few minutes. I'll leave you guys here with Strongheart.
I'm so happy.
Oh, whoa! Hi, we got a raid. Sorry, guys. I was actually up making a little drink. Thank you for the raid, Kites. Oh, Jam, you're a raider from Kites' stream. Oh my god, welcome. Kites, what were you up to today? Oh wow, where am I? I'm new. We're playing Ace Attorney. Symphony of War made me mauled a little bit, but that's not why we're playing this. We were gonna switch anyways, but we didn't.
How dare you?
We silenced the symphony for tonight. Hello. Jam. Oh, that's really weird that you're also a mod here. Could you also shout out Kites, please? Thank you. Fortnite. Oh, anyways, so we are Ace Attorney-ing tonight, and you want to watch For the Love of Dilfs? I think there is a secret power to streaming TV. I do. I'm convinced after spending enough time in Casey Tron's stream of her literally just streaming paid streaming services and not getting in trouble for it, by the way. But just watching TV and chilling. I think the next time there's an FGC event, I might stream it on Twitch instead of Discord. And just see if people come through. It's time to stream Madame Web. Wait, what is that, Dots? Wait, Kites, what do you mean planning to finish Danganronpa? Didn't you only get to, like, chapter 2 or 3? You want me to stream bad movies, Dots? There's probably a market for that. I saw that, Kevin. Oh! I got to, like, the change room killing. Yeah, you got to chapter 2. Hey, Chibi. Hi! I love how, yeah, you're not even close to finishing that game. Don't be silly. How are we doing, Chibi? Welcome. It's so long. Oh my god, yes, and it's amazing. And you will never experience it again. I want you to keep that in mind. Alright? I constantly chase how amazing Danganronpa was when I play games. So, enjoy it while you can. I'm doing great, Chibi. I went to an FGC event last night. And I flopped. Well, sort of. I got, like, top 5 uni, but I'm not happy with how I played. And BlazBlue, I totally just, like, fucked up. They still hold those? Oh! What is that genre of games? I don't know her. You know what's funny, Chibi? The number of people that would recognize me from playing Melty Blood over 10 years ago? Surprisingly few. But at this particular event, they decided to have a throwback tournament for BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend, and I had to explain to numerous people that I played the game when it was new. That's a good thing if we enter stuff now? Yeah, maybe. I think, actually, I've gotten a decent amount of clout from Undernight. And BlazBlue. Like, people know me, sort of, from those games, but they don't know that I'm an OG Melty head. And that I was playing the game in fucking 2007. Well, yes. Yes, Chibi, I do. All right, don't give me this lecture. I'm there for blood. You're correct. You're correct. You okay?
Blood will flow like a river.
I didn't cut anything, but it...
Kevin.
Okay. Please, I'm listening to Dua Lipa
Okay, right
now.
when you did blood will flow like a river, Kevin went, "Oh!" while cutting an onion, and I was like,
I'm listening to Dua Lipa, please.
okay. Hi, Thomas. Not bleeding for Dua Lipa? He better not. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments, and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zeeks now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now, I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. So, you know what bothers me a little bit about that interaction? That guy clearly knows what Kazuma's purpose was, and we didn't ask. I have no right to ask? Okay. So we'll go to the prosecutor's office first. Hey, Kev. Kevin!
Yeah.
Why are you not listening to the Selena Gomez song?
You Selena Gomez stuff?
Yeah.
I'll listen to it after.
Okay. Kevin says he'll listen to it soon and report back, Thomas.
Sorry, I'm listening to Adam Maverick.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. Ugh, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Me too, Steven. Oh, is that hooded figure was so still, I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who that is. What are you doing here? Ah! He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. It's a nobody. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for some reason? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. Aw, man. Let's play Ace Official. Have you ever done the Marshmallow Challenge? Please tell me more. I'm so curious. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. Wait. Oh no. You have to say chubby monkey until you can't with marshmallows in your mouth? Are we talking like the big marshmallows? Chubby bunny? Then why would Ace Official tell me it's chubby monkey? Okay, wait a minute. Is this apprentice gonna be... I really think this apprentice is gonna be Kazuma. Alright, let's see. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmin's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmin. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. Oh, is that the pun? Odiasmin, odious man. Well. But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. As Mr. Asmin died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Van Zeeks as an antagonist is a red herring, and the actual big bad is the Chief Justice. Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. Bless you. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What?! I'd understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all. So you were students together. I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he is science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form, and with you of all people representing him. Ugh, if only I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed! What's Lord Van Ziek's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor, and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hard-working now. Natsume! I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches have escaped justice, subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh! It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Yeah, that makes sense. So people don't want to commit a crime because they know that even if they're saved in court, you'll still die. Again, this seems like a plant by Strongheart and not by Van Zieks. Do you mean to say? I mean to say that if my pseudonym proves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, and with honor. Strong sideburns. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Not this. Lord Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks, about the article in this paper. Ah yes, it would seem there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. Why does he look like that? Also, the sword makes me so think this is Kazuma. It was careless of me. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. You could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. Yeah, Herlock Sholmes is not an attorney. Stupid Iris, you idiot. On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face or indeed his identity. It is Kazuma. We already know. Were you all thinking this when you played this? We know it's Kazuma. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders, again. He's not one for the meaningless follies. There's will be a good reason for his actions. You thought it was Giselle? I hope you're right. Hey! Ah! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the beliefs. It's so him! Nice to meet you. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Yeah. Okay. I said this going into this game. Kazuma's back. That was Kazuma. That is Kazuma. Why? I don't know, but that's him. You have to go through 2 hours to convince you, I'm afraid. True, this isn't our first time with Giselle either, but that was a manly chin, Steven, alright? Giselle is a woman! Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Red flag number 47 about Strongheart. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyways? Okay. Susato was forced back to Japan because she would have realized that it was Kazuma. Because she was like a super fan. That's my current theory. But why would he be getting trained as a prosecutor? So I guess Kazuma's gonna be the prosecutor in the final case? Either we ally with Van Zeeks or he's out of the picture by chapter 5 then. Ooh, I'm making some assumptions, but let's see if I'm right. Oh no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. Okay, the game is aware that the player should know this, right? Okay, maybe it's self-aware. Yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop and the mustache and the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Grant! Happy Sunday, I hope you're doing well. I can't go to Derek's wedding, can you? I had to tell him I can't go. I'm crazy broke. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. Heidi came. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn-up for the books. Mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zieks, I think. You want me to investigate his office? Look at the fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. And yet you throw them around in the court like they were worthless. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So it's my fault. Silly me. How could I ever have thought otherwise? It looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us. He's not dead. Alright, let's go to the prison. Oh, here we go. I can't believe they are actually reintroducing Kazuma. Like, I'm excited for it, but I need to know why. And I need to know what's going on. Okay, prison cell 2. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Well...
Yay!
We'll see. I think once I'm working again, I might stream... I might decrease the number of games that we play during the week. Because currently we're juggling how many games? Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is basically only allowed on Saturdays and Sundays, which means we barely make progress. Symphony of War, Persona 3. Right? So that's like the 3. And then like Pokemon Stadium is like on the outs. Yeah, Steven, they decided to go ahead with another candidate. But yeah, so it's okay. We'll get another one. It's just like how well can an interview go and it just doesn't work out? It's like, wow. Nothing went wrong. That's just the thing. But that's life. It is what it is. Thank you. Once we're working again, I think the number of games that we play during the week will decrease. But while we've been full-time streaming, we have lots of days to fill with all these games. But I would like to cut down so that there can be more progress made in individual games. Oh, look, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look! What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, was it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer?! Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Well, would you be here? Are you about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! The magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your Zell made my concentration leave for a while, too. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose, in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes. Right there in front of me, Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman, in fact, perished. Failed to shift. Yes, I can't deny the part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. But... murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as murder, Then they'll say the machine was the murder weapon, and they'll have to pore over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy out my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from all costs. At all costs, even. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. So, in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds like the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea. You see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in a cell, and the next I could be in the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Partisan Theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. Ah. My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works! But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it. Yes. Hurley always is complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A poquito chiquito. A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Baron Van Zeeks. What was he like during the university? Talk about a leading question, Bruno! As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zeeks family with all its great aristocratic origins. Aristocratic. What'd I say? I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learnt what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Once again, this person has really important information and we don't have the option of asking. That's too bad. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship to the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for a presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support from my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine in my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. Wait, so it was his machine, not yours? As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems to be genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. So you had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this. But still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me. Please. Do you even believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that. All my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories, but I do believe in you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Bruno. It's time to visit the Great Exhibition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Oh, let's go! Alright. Alright. Now we investigate. We have a little bit of a burrito fajita bowl, complete with cilantro, lime, rice, and Kevin's burrito beef mixture with some cabbage. And no beans, thank you. There is cilantro.
So there's nothing I hate more than beans. Soybeans, mung beans, whatever. I hate them all.
There is cilantro in the rice, Tiffany. So if we ever repeat this meal for you, we will have to omit the socks. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What's that? I can hear voices from on top of the stage. It sounds like an argument. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Right! I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh, yeah? Go on, then. Spectre, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Vengeful voices.
Just try it, I dare ya, if you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat.
I won't lose to someone like you.
I can't believe we have a Hua Young command. I actually forgot about that. I've been a Hua enthusiast, though. Guys, I think this is actually way more of an acceptable temperature than I was expecting. I'm gonna take a dinner break. And when we come back, there will be investigation in this game. So I will BRB and play some music.
It's tea time! Hurry! Hurry! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Oh, thank you. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, now we are back. Food has been consumed. Oh, so good. It was like fajita seasoned beef with cilantro, lime, rice, corn, cabbage, and beans for Kevin, but not me. So it was like a fajita. Excuse me. A fajita bowl. I'm glad you enjoyed the lo-fi, Steven. And we will be continuing with our
Yay!
Great Ace Attorney 2. Yoo-hoo, Gregsy, what are you doing up there? So, wait a minute. Let's remind ourselves of the relationship between Iris and Gregson. Isn't he, like, indebted to her for one reason or another? Like, he appreciates the edits that she gives him in the stories or something to that effect? He, like, kind of fears her / respects her for some reason. He wants her to write him in a respectable way. Ah, okay. She wrote him as a cool detective and everybody started respecting him. Okay. Ah! Ah! It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! You here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I want to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. About the implications of that. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would seem that he is back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine! Sorry. What gives, then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me. That's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob, is that all you got? Oh. As a lawyer, you're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Nara Odo. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge ya for all the bother. Free Bob. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all your name-calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do you? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective. You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces round the world to pull out all the stops in looking for him. Just a small promise, then. Nothing serious. Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and make her a sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there is still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Runo, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on, you're not still on about that, are ya? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Core, you don't have to worry, Odo. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. What I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretching point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps a Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Core, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. What they don't know is I am sending a hitman Natsume's way. I really do hope that Natsume is not involved in any other cases. I'm not a fan. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of course, everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start? No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way. It was? How can it have been? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? You can see it for yourself, can't you? Up there, above the scaffold. Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage, what the victim got in to start with, really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment that drew up the yard. That we drew up at the yard. Oh, are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Okay. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off with that without explaining himself. Alright, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call him again? The Forensic Investigation Team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. A bit funny, isn't it? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard of something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo? Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, isn't he? Where the machines that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Runo? Gregsy will listen to us. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success. What's that wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. Let's remind him of that time he helped a murderer in court and also throw eggs at him. Yeah, Gregson is, he's whatever. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold, then? Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged the gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? No. He probably got launched by the explosion. The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck. But there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at that moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may be the biggest draw. And thanks to the accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore. Oh, suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time you got used to our measurements. Yes, well, the thing is so tall. The spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else. They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed. Kevin!
My apologies.
Go ahead.
Come on. You can go back to your spot. Go ahead. You're good, pretty girl. Yeah.
There's a saying in Japan.
Learn, kitten.
The darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Okay, so where's Greg Z? What's that? Ah! It looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid. What is this? Some part of a machine that exploded? Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. So you were literally not allowed to... Oh. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. The fuck did we find a crossbow? It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire 5 arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. Ugh, I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. Okay, I mean, this is amazing evidence. The fuck? This groove here. Must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I'd had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyudo archery training. Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. It's not like any other fabric I've seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber? The fuck? What is this from? It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before, but applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Well, I'm sure this will come in handy. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look, almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where'd it go? Heh, looking for this, Odo? When did she do that? I wonder if you got anything else to show me, eh? What do you reckon? Get that back first, please. Gina, would you take a look at... Alright, we don't deal with Gina. I need to find, If you let your concentration slip, you might miss what people say. I need to find, Gregson, right? These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Oh. Okay, or they just let us do that. That's fine. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like that before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof of the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really, he just looks confused to me. Alright, Gregson, what do you got to tell us? It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yeah, we just got to the scene of the crime. We wasted time with Gina for like 20 minutes. We did find some important evidence down near Gina, though, so I'm glad that we were very thorough with, like, checking that area. Yes, beamed, not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think you were to pull... Stop! Don't touch that! Aha! That was practically instantaneous kinesis, the way you flew over just now, Greg Z. Bye-bye, Dammy. Have a good night.
Toodaloo.
Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Oh, sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Etir, what is with this armored panties that you're sending me? I actually can't tell if that's panties or a face. Anyway, Etir, just sit back and enjoy the visual novel, okay? That's all you have to do. Sub-Ligar from Final Fantasy. It's a metal Speedo. Okay, so it's panties and not a face. Got it. And you know what, Etir, I'm reporting you to the Leatherworking Guild. I'm gonna do it. I've been thinking about doing it, and I'm gonna do it. Oh, right, we already read this. Ah! Wonderful! This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. Well, Etir, I'm just wondering how the Leather Guild is gonna feel like with you spamming metal undergarments in stream chat. Just seems like something they might not appreciate when you could have been spamming leather ones. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driven me potty. Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's all right, isn't it, Gregsy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. Using high-voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. But the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were, right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production, which is infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch the crime scene. Because the new highfalutin Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the Yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flamin' thing about it. Poor Gregsy. He's very het up, isn't he? Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Didn't he just say that? Are you avin' at me, sunshine? It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. We also just talked about it. Sure did, thanks. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or investigations to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobbers, if you ask me. Put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Do scientists get funding? Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't ya? Hang science, hang it. Oh, maybe I can see your point. Apparently, Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Heh. Actually, we learned something about the professor earlier today, about his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know, Lord Van Zieks. What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zieks mans the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed because of the Reaper will get him one way or another? Blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking to Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh, yes. But Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? I'm gonna take just a second to go and prepare another drink. I will be right back.
Found you.
Where are you? Where are you?
Oh my god, thank you for asking. I'm right here. Hi.
Yay!
I have returned! Right, so... We have Rage prepared a drink. Yes, Mars, thank you, for describing my actions. Twice, welcome back. We are about to progress with the case, which we are learning lots of information about. Guy was put in a machine and transported into a nearby building but died. Sounds to me like he just got blown up and went flying through the air, crashed through the glass, and there he is. Right? That seems way more plausible.
The enemy!
Yes. Okay. The victim of the...
This ends now!
The victim of the case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Baron Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard's suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. So, okay, hear me out. What if Strongheart is employing people that fake their deaths into enacting justice for the British court system? Ah? Maybe? Possibly? We'll find out. Anyway, all we know is that Kazuma's coming back. And that he's wearing a mask. And that we immediately notice his posture because he was our boyfriend. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. Posterior, yes. Yes, Mars, yes. Do you understand? Also, Mars, how was the demo? And thank you for sending me the Peggy character ahead of time. I appreciate the knowledge. I just don't know when we're going to get to that game. I really want to play it, but, you know, FF7 is in less than a week. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery, after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Mars. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. What? He said that it was after that they both graduated that something happened to change that man. Do you have any idea what that was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself somewhere else, eh? Just do 6 or 7 24-hour streams in a row to clear out your backlog. Can't see any problems with that. Ah! Can we examine? Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to have escaped unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? You ass, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flamin' rules. Look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touching anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched a teeny weeny bit. But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really, very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Runo found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy.
It's hard.
Right. Are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now. That lot? The forensics team? The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too. Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up. Love the pinky up. Hee-ho! They're all just Jack Frosts. That hit the spot. Yep, hits every time. Well, at least I've seen the scenery with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're gonna get with our investigation here at least. Really, I'm surprised that we're not able to look around more. I've been thinking... Hurley might know something, might he? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zieks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred, right? Oh, after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of a big case, isn't he? Here, this is what you need. What's this, some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tuspells. Is this supposed to mean something to me? Oh, you don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like. No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big travel tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Yes. How is it that you know where he is? Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo. Madame Tussfells.
Hello.
Welcome back again twice. Hi. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Okay. Cool. So we're moving. You are universitizing. Very nice. We are making some great progress in Great Ace Attorney 2 tonight. Yeah. It's been a good stream. There was Symphony of War. And there's Great Ace Attorney. Tomorrow we got Persona 5. It's very exciting. Okay. Oh, is Madame Tussfelds a Dots character? What is this place? Really quick, guys, I need to grab a charge cable for my phone. 1 second. She's a gay icon. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm just refreshing E7. I actually didn't log into E7 at all yesterday. So I missed another day. That's the second day I've missed in like 5 years. Oops! What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Uh-oh. Time to quit? No, we're good. I was just busy yesterday. I was very involved in the fighting game stuff. Look at all these terrifying scenes, but why are all these people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I have to know... I know I'll be dreaming about this tonight. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? Me attacking E tier? Could it be captured with wax models? I don't know. What do you think, Runo? Shocked? Wax models? Ugh! I read about dead bodies in wax once, in a magazine, about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. Eater, let's find out which scene depicts us. It's called, Adipocure. Adipocure? Hold on.
I shouldn't say things I don't understand.
Adipocere. Adipocere. Adipocere.
Adipocere. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere. Oh. Doesn't form readily, you know. It's only after very specific... Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read. in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them! Oh! There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. Oh no.
Seesaw homicide.
And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait. What is it? Oh. No. I must be seeing things. It's... the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here. Really? Well, he is world famous, after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it. I know. But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Oh. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit, either. Hmm? Really? Did it? And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. So stupid. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy, much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes, I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me! But Bruno has something he needs to ask you. Ah, a question? And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes before being stationary like that. And my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from my unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? You could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zieks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, for now I must return to my work. What? Back to being temporary waxwork exhibit? What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ugh, sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of their faces of condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyways, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition, but people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, some of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows, so they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Ha ha ha! Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So the hideous exhibits in here are... They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I come in on a different killer. I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? So you mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with all that in mind, how about a photograph? Jury won Capcom Cup? Oh shit, wait, yeah, who won? Who was the player dots? Tell me it was Nephew. I know, those shining eyes of sadness. As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Uma? Japanese? Question mark? Maybe some other time.
Spiraling because some Japanese player had at least 305 speed liar.
Yeah, I've never heard Uma. Actually, some friends told me that the formatting for Capcom Cup this year was different than previous years. So for me, I'm not a huge Street Fighter follower or fan, but I like that they took representatives from, like, global regions, because now it actually simulates, like, Street Fighter 2. where like you get the best reps from their countries and they're all in like a big tournament. It's not about if Japan has 50 god tier players. It's about the best 2 that qualify for the spot in Japan. Like, that's actually really sick. So
I do what I can.
If people want to see a tournament where like it's all the best competing together, it doesn't have to be Capcom Cup. I think Capcom Cup, keeping it similar to the structure of what Street Fighter was supposed to be, is actually very sick. And I'm allowed to say that because I don't follow it. And I don't have investment in any of the players. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. Well, he's got a masked version of my boyfriend with him, so I don't really know how to feel. So I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeek such a different person. I was sure that you'd know, Hurley. Ooh, he doesn't want to talk? You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached an Greetings. Okay. Ah! Hello! Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again. My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspels. This is my museum of waxwork. Yeah, she's amazing. And she's got Staryu on her hat, so this is literally perfect. What? You're the Madame Tuspels? Ben, sir. C'est magnifique. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madame in name only. It appears a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know. But I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels? So, what's the pun? Madame Tuspels. What's her name again? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Oh gosh. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were secured, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. Wax Museum in LA. That's where we're at now, yes. Madame Tussaud. Oh. So she's Tuspel instead of Tussaud, and they dressed her up like a mage. Or a witch. All these wax works really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. Hmm? What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal pasts.
Oh yeah. The lantern right in.
Yep.
Push the lantern right. Drew out. Yeah. Do it for me.
I already did.
And you know what to do.
Who do you think you are?
It's a fake magician from down in Mountain Brother. What's your name?
Hey, Steven. Kevin needs you to log on.
magic.
Kevin needs you to log on and
With
do
my magic.
and do his Lantern Raid Genshin event. Can you please help?
I'm so no.
Migata, thanks for the raid. Hi. The male Senshi, welcome. Migata, what were you up to?
There's another Genshin game coming out in 2 days.
I hope your stream was amazing. Is it Wandering Wyvern Monks? Oh. Capcom Cup? I heard Jury won. Who was the finals? I didn't follow it at all this year. Oh, E-Tier volunteered to do your Lantern Raid. Yep.
Another happy customer.
Super Dude Guy, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Can't believe Steven would abandon Kevin in his time of need. Twice said, Kevin, did you do your Granblue wrap up yet? Granblue wrap up.
No. In regular Granblue?
Wait. Bro, who were the finals? Also, what are you up to these days? You playing games? I actually went to an event last night, like an FGC event, and I haven't been to one in a while. Jury in winners, Luke in losers. I mean, there was a Luke army from what I understand, so more power. Single player game, samesies. I still been playing Uni though. Yeah, Uni is super amazing. There was a tournament.
We're on commission.
Linny is so sick in.
She is! Thank you for the bits, Migata. Very, very nice of you. Thank you. That is hilarious. Oh, wait! Uni too made you donate? What? Okay, anyways. That is actually so funny. Right? But yes, there was a tournament in Riverside. It had Blaze Blue, Under Night, BB Tag, Idol Showdown, DFC, wow, how many years is that?
Started on 2017, May 10th.
You wanted to go to play Grand Blue? Gasp. Who do you play in Grand Blue? I'm actually not playing Grand Blue, but Kevin plays. You play Zeta? Nice. She seemed very strong in the base version. Zeta sick? Oh no. Oh, that Bulma emote is very chaotic. I love it. Indeed. Yeah, it was really cool. There was some like a mix of old blood and new blood at the event, and it was really, really nice. I honestly can't wait to go to my next FGC shindig because it was just so nice seeing everybody. It reminded me why I like the SoCal community. Right, yeah, it was, so I think that they started it as, like, a Blaze Blue BB Tag event, which is basically like a dead game. But, the community is passionate, and they made it happen. And yeah, Plus Frames GG ran it. And that venue in Riverside is really nice. Like, I really like it there. Anyway. Oh, so you've been to it? Yeah, it's super nice. They got like a huge ass food court. You're a city away? Oh my god. Migata, I didn't know that. That means you traveled far and wide to go to like Irvine and other casuals, you know, in this area. Crazy. I hope that Danger Time comes back soon. You went to school in Irvine for 4 years? Okay. Gotcha, so you're a bit further away now. Desert boys, Riverside's not quite the desert, but you're getting there. Well, you're in Fontana? I don't know where that is. My California geography is still, like, novice at best, and I've been living here for 10 years. To answer your question from long ago, Great Ace Attorney has been wonderful. We are currently on chapter 3 of the second game. And we are kind of like in the pre-trial lull of like collecting evidence before shit gets kicked off. All of the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they were modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret of the extraordinary lifelikeness. It sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry. This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. You got gifted a sub at some point. Thank you, anonymous gifter. It was probably during our subathon. When did I do the subathon? Was it earlier this month? I think it was. But basically, we had, like... It was like a 62-hour stream. And, like, almost 200 subscribers. Like, actual crazy stuff. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. It was Key to Truth. Aww. Key to Truth is a really nice person and supporter of the channel. He is not here right now because he hates Ace Attorney, but I will let him know that you say thank you next I see him, which will probably be tomorrow. He tends to come around for Persona. Persona is a pretty good game that we're streaming right now. What's the situation with that? Nice person to everyone except Peggy. He's nice to me. You playing P3 Reload? I am. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're doing a Merciless run for our first playthrough. And it has been great. I'm excited to see how far we can get and if I can finish all the social links and stuff like that. But yeah, the game is... I'm super addicted to Persona 3 Reload. I love it. I will stream it most days next week. I will make a few guilt days to play Symphony of War and this, but other than that, Persona 3 Reload. My favorite character in the Persona 3 games are always, it's Mitsuru and Akihiko, so, I will almost certainly be taking them to the final boss. But when I play RPGs, I tend to use all the characters, so... Yeah, Mitsuru is my number 1, Akihiko number 2. But, mostly just because I think Akihiko's attractive.
I'll cut your lies with truth.
This Koromaru Erasure? Koromaru's a good boy. Junpei and Aegis. Yeah. He's a dreamboat. Look, I know he's gonna grow up and look fine because of Persona 4 Arena, so... Kevin, you're on the couch?
Chicken.
Alright.
A lot of you.
Well, you remember Kevin, right? Say hi to Kevin.
No.
He just says hi, Kevin. Okay. My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madame, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Ah. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So, I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Or words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have done it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement even instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going well? I wonder, bless you, could I ask you something? Ben, sir. I'm just curious, is anything going on with the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah. There you are. Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tuspels, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? Oh, there's a hand. That is the Tuspels special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutely not. There is nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madame. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah. I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon. Soupçon. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. Tuspel's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Well, then perhaps Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor, is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why? Why do you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tispels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we fucking go.
Yay!
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum.
Yay!
The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. Yeah, she's definitely a good design. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not much, as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tispels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds. No! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear that man has suffered a severe shock, the case of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds! It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not played with regret. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxworks that has changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief! Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact, It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? This man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But... Next, we turn to our attention to the old man sat before him, with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork! But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. Oh god. Oh god. Kazuma on the ship is a wax doll. I already see where this is going. We still don't know why. We literally do not know why. But Kazuma is alive, and we observed a wax doll staging his death. Strongheart's in on it. And it has something to do with the Reaper of the Bailey and exacting justice. We should double check to make sure Susato is not made of wax. Wax tends to not cosplay, though. And sorry, Dots, but...
I'm just cosplaying.
Susato cosplayed as Naruhodo in Chapter 1, so your theory is debunked. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale signs that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame? I do not. Yes? The waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police, and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Oh my god, okay. This is all such a setup. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah! The notorious Naruhodo, 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, this special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Ottermole. Sorry? Was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the aether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add before I melt you down? That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris. Is that alright? To make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Alright. Here is where I'm at, guys. I think we're gonna make our save. Now, I do really like these deductions, but I don't want to do it right now and then forget everything that we just proved. So I think it might actually be smarter to do this at the start of Saturday's session. That way, everything is going to be fresh when we go into the trial. So yeah, because it's been 8 hours. I'm getting a little tired. I think it's about time. But guys, listen. I appreciate you for being here, and it was a good session. We will be back tomorrow with Epic 7 and Persona 3. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a schedule this week. I need to find out exactly what's going on, because I know I have a friend visiting this week. And I need to make sure that, like, we have everything figured out. But other than that, I bid you all adieu for the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love and all that shit. Bye-bye!